gets a lot of comments. A lot of people think he looks a bit like Bob Marley. He's got a lot of common with Bob Marley actually. Loves drinking music. Can't keep him off the grass either. Loves it. Just what Mumsy does. Now, wool was the biggest income you've ever had in your country. This guy makes more wool than any other breed of sheep in 12 months. Grows it like grass in a paddock. He's really good quality as well. So he should be way up in the top of your list of breeds of sheep. And he's actually at the bottom. He's 4th rare breed category. One more category, you've lost him over here. What's going on? Well, 20, 30 years ago, your wool market crashed in the UK. Your farmers have moved on to meat breeds. Your wool breeds are dropping like flies. Luckily for Lenny, he got off your island. Made it to my island, New Zealand. Not sure how. Grey bears helped him. Little canoe. We love him. So he won't become extinct when you lose him. We have him. Unlike Nobby, this guy paid for your empire. He made you one of the most powerful nations on the planet. And he's just about gone. Not even a statue. Okay, he's under 1,000 left of him. And he's only found in England. When you lose him, gone. Alright, we're going to move over to the Europeans. This next guy, the Dutch were the first people to change the sheep's body. They made a sheep have double muscle on the glutamus maximus. Really big bum, kids. Perfect song, kids, sing it with me if you know it. I like big butts and I cannot lie. Please welcome the biggest possum in the sheep world, Terry the Texel. Give it up for Terry. Well done. Alright, why do we do it to a sheep? Why do we make him have a really big bum? Very simple. More meat, more money for the farmer. Look at Sam, look at the looks. He doesn't like Terry. 5 years ago, in his own country, Sam was knocked off the #1 spot by the foreigner as the #1 breeding male ram in the UK. You're not sure what that means, kids? It's a great job. He's got more wives than Sam has in the UK. Sam's got more wives around the world, still #1, but only just. Terry's a much newer breed of sheep, taking the world by storm. #1 here already, #2 in the world's ranking, and he's cruising now to try and knock Sam off the top spot. Alright, let's go to France. Let's have a look what the French can do to a sheep. Please welcome, bonjour, to Rupert, the Rouge de l'Ouest. Come on up here. Rupert, come on. Yeah, bonjour, bonjour. Get something. I know what you're thinking. He's a bit funny looking, but he's from France. Not quite sure what the French are trying to do with the looks. I think it's us humans. We keep mucking around with Mother Nature, popping up breeds every 5 seconds. Sometimes you get side effects. Anyway, I think what the French are trying to do with him is get a sheep like your Suffolk. Long body, good meat, good wool. They've done a cracking job with him. I'll give them that. But what they then thought, let's bring him to the biggest sheep nation in Europe, the UK. He didn't like that idea. Change of climate wasn't very good for him. He's got softer feet for the higher, drier weather, and he just sulks a bit over here. So he's actually gone down, and he's just high maintenance really in this kind of climate, so he won't even take off over here. Alright, we're going to move on now to the live strip tease part of the show. They'll come back and do a dance routine in a minute. I was only 14 years old when I sheep my first sheep. I'll never forget it. You never forget your first. The man jumped the sheep between the legs. I was hacking away at that poor sheep for over half an hour. And it wasn't because it was the hardest thing I'd ever done at 14, and I won't forget it. It was when the sheep stood up and walked off. It did look more like a poodle. I've done a lot of clipping, got better at it, but I prefer the machine. Some people get a bit nervous. Being in England and working with animals in public, I've been called everything under the sun. Some people think it's very mean to do this to a sheep. So I'm going to demonstrate on my own skin. It doesn't actually hurt the skin of the sheep. Doesn't hurt. You can get used to it. No, I'm joking, it's lovely. Felt like it vibrates. See, feeling. Yeah, the sheep love it. Oh, thank you very much. All over massage. Alright, now the other people give me a hard time over here when I get over here. I'm not a seasonal worker, come out here 6-7 months a year. There's your health and safety mob. They get on my back a bit. I'll be honest with you folks, I've been travelling this planet for 25 years as a backpacker, been to 100+ countries. Love your little island here, you've got a great spot on the planet. I just want to say one thing about the UK. Not a criticism, just an observation from a foreigner. But I do find here in the UK more than anywhere else I've ever been, I do find your health and safety people maybe wound up a little bit tight. A couple of years ago they tried to stop me doing the show. They thought it was too dangerous for the public for me to open the door and a wild sheep to run towards you. After a lot of money on my behalf, we've come to an agreement. We can carry on doing this as long as I give you a safety talk they provide from me. Here we go. I open door. Wild sheep runs out. I will physically catch it. If I miss, hardly ever miss, once or twice a week tops. If I miss and a sheep lands on the grass and I'm not physically attached to it, it's not part of the show. Please don't panic. If a sheep is running at you, calmly stand. If it's getting closer, turn. If it's extremely close to you, run. That's it. Now you can't sue me if it all goes horribly wrong. Haha, suckers. Alright, she is a 1-year-old sheep. Saying all that, you probably do need one actually, because 1-year-old sheep, they're like our 3-year-old kids that never had a haircut. They're a little bit mad, okay? So she will come out. You usually never catch sheep from front on. You usually catch them from behind. So when she runs at me, it's more like a rugby tackle. Kids, you'll be fine. I honestly don't think you'll run away. She's never had a haircut before. Oops, sorry. Put the handbrake on. Sorry. Oh, don't take any pictures right now. That's not the position. I just don't want to be on YouTube. Are you sharing that sheep? No, get your own. All right, let's take her out of four-wheel drive. She relaxes pretty quick. Watch this. Here we go. When sheep come out of four-wheel drive, they do relax. I get, like I said, I get all sorts of comments, sometimes quite abusive, but anyway, this was my cracking comment the other day I had. I think it was, I'm just going to share it with you. A guy came out of the audience after my show and said, "Hey mate, that sheep you're shearing wasn't wild like you said it was. Just sat there when you were shearing it. It didn't even try and run." I was thinking at the time, wow, how far can a sheep run if their feet aren't on the ground? So of course they're not going to run, but they wait for an opportunity. If I make a mistake, one of those little pinkies touches the ground, then you'll see the fastest tap dancing show you've ever seen. The art of sheep shearing is not just whipping off wool. The real art of sheep shearing, knowing how to hold a sheep, perfect balance, so it's comfortable. 300-400 sheep a day goes between your legs. You can't fight with them all. I'm just going to tell you what I'm doing next because it looks a bit wrong. But I'm going to have a quick look at the bikini line. Not a perv, just to make sure it's a female. A little boy sneaks in when you're shearing a lot of sheep. You could be whipping things off that shouldn't come off. Okay? I don't want any Mr. Bobbits on my watch. I'd hate him to change religions. Yeah, it's a girl, I can see that. Alright kids, I'm just going to show you some horrible bits now. I call them Klingons. A little wet one, that one. There we go kids. That's what happens if you don't use toilet paper. Mum and Dad will hear you coming, it rattles when you run. Horrible stuff. So we're going to whip off the bikini line. Put that in my stinky boo bag. That gets made into felt. Bully wool, bikini line, felt. This is carpets, clothing, insulation. Actually, you know what this... You know those little black bowler hats, felt bowler hats? So next time you see the rich people, oh, hello, what? Glass of port, anyone? You can think, oi mate, you're going to see pop on your head. I mean, it doesn't matter, they wash it, so it's not like they actually have got poo on the head. No, the last thing I want to say, I did get some Facebook comments not long ago. Banned sheep shearers, horrible people, they hurt the sheep. So I'm just going to go through a couple of things they talk about. Shaving necks, it can happen. When you're shearing 300-400 sheep a day, you could get a scratch or a nick. This hand, kids, has only got the one job. Don't you let that sheep get cut. And he works really hard. Kids, you've seen your mum and dad, sorry, your daddy have a shave. When he pulls the skin tight, so he doesn't cut himself. Mummy does the same with the legs. Keeps the skin nice and tight when you're shaving the legs. If you don't do that, you can get the nicks. So this hand has only got that one job. Now kids, watch this. This is for you. There's a couple of little buttons on a sheep. I call this first button the karate kick button. Pops that leg out. Locks it in. It's a very important button. It doesn't hurt the sheep. There's one more button on the front leg. Oh, peanut butter sandwich. Whoa, Quasimodo. Even wave at your kids. Hi guys, how you doing? So these little buttons don't hurt the sheep. But it's her first haircut she's ever had. She's got baby teeth. She was only born last year. So she'd probably do a little bit of wriggling, like you kids did when your first haircut happened. So by pushing those buttons, I can stop her getting hurt into this machine. Alright, I've got some bad news for her. I'm not a sheep shearer. Sorry, Darwin. I've never been a sheep shearer. Kind of grew up as a shepherd. High country musterer, seen movies like Lord of the Rings. That's one of my home when I grew up. I had 16 sheepdogs, 4 horses, lived with some scary hillbillies. Now, when you're a shearer, shepherd, you kind of know how to shear sheep. I'm just holding the teats out the way. two teeth. You don't want to try and leave them on. Hey, if there's any ladies, just the ladies, if there's any ladies watching me right now, you might be thinking to yourself, hey, he's not doing a bad job on that. Maybe you're going on holiday soon, or you think summer's coming, you wouldn't mind a tidy up. It's only 50p today, ladies. Now, I know you've got recession. I know you've had a recession. I honestly don't mind. I could give you the 50p if you want. Call it a perk. Just get that top lot off my love. All right, now why do we share sheep? Are those people right on Facebook? Is it me? Let's ban sheep shearing. Well, folks, it's one of the reasons I wrote a book about dog behaviour. I'm actually a dog trainer by trade. We need to understand our animals better instead of just making these crazy rash statements. Now, basically, with sheep, it's history. 10,000 years ago, sheep never grew wool like this. They had extremely small fleece, looked like a goat. Put that back, she's a bit shy. So we actually farmed sheep back then for meat and milk, and we use their skin for clothing. We realised after a while we could change this animal more for humans' use. So we started a thing called selective breeding. We started growing their fleeces longer and longer on the back of the sheep. We did that. Now, by doing that and taking away molting, wool has actually become the second biggest killer of our sheep today. Number 2. Number 1's the Barbie. How does wool kill a sheep? Well, 2 ways. They can get stuck on their own back. I do take my time with the underarm, make sure you get it all, otherwise it looks a bit European. There we go, my love. So we grew it on. Now sheep are in big trouble because they can't get their own fleeces off. 90% of our breeds of sheep can't molt. Wool has become the second biggest killer. Now the way they can get killed by wool is being stuck on their own back. If a fox, seagull, crow finds a sheep upside down, especially when they're pregnant, they can't roll back on their feet because the wool pins them to the ground. It's all over Red Rover. But the biggest killer is a thing called fly strike. Flies love this unnatural fleece. They lay their babies in it called maggots. And maggots will kill a sheep in just a matter of days. It's not a good way to go. It's probably the worst thing I've ever seen in life. Okay, maggoty sheep's horrible. So we made this sheep grow the fleece for us. We are responsible for looking after this animal now, even if it actually costs us money. You guys built an empire off this one animal. So it's incredible your story with this animal. If you're worried about it being cold or wet, listen up. All that yellow colour you see now, that's lanolin. Every day you whack on sheep grease. Lanolin is in lipstick, eyeshadow, sunblock, soap, shampoos. Really, really good for us. Pop your head up, my love. Now, she has it to keep herself waterproof. She only needs about half an inch of wool to go for your winter. Anything longer than an inch of wool on a sheep, there's no benefit to the sheep. None at all.
Apple ones there is.
Just hindrance. The original 5 breeds of sheep still live today around the world and live in the coldest parts of the world. Look, get your head out of there, my love. I've only just met you. Very friendly sheep over here. Hang on, I can't even talk when you're doing that. Okay. No cuts, no scratches. She'll live for another 12 months because I took that wool off her. Who wants to see a naked sheep?
Yeah.
Right, everybody else turn around. I know, you're very friendly. Come here. Here we go, my love. There we go. Give her a little clap. Didn't she do well? Pop in here, my love. Don't panic, it's not an oven. Oh, she undressed me as well. She must be a local girl. All right. Okay, now basically, folks, I'm not a sheep shearer, never have been. I wouldn't want to be one either. It's a backbreaker job. I admire them, and I do get a little bit ruffled feathers when I hear Facebook comments saying ban sheep shearers. Without sheep shearers, you're going to have a massacre of maggots. It'd be the horriblest thing you could imagine. This is the toughest job in the world. They grab a large animal, they flip it over, drag it to the machine, 30, 40 seconds, the sheep, the good ones, down a porthole, 7 days a week, 2 months to get all the sheep short in the country before the maggots come in. Now, they actually, the world record I think is over 700 a sheep by a Kiwi. Quite incredible. Right, we're going to talk about the shed hander quickly. He comes in and looks after the wool, keeps out of the way of the shearer. Okay, you got to clean the boards, get the wool out. They get paid per sheep shearers. Look at all that yellow colour. That's the grease you smear all over yourselves every day. It's great for you. Now that's called lanolin. That protects the sheep from the weather as well. This is its first haircut that's ever had the sheep. It's the best wool she'll ever grow in her life. It's paid for your empire, made you a powerful country. How much is it worth today? It costs the farmer maybe about £2 with a shearer, shed hander, a little bit of grub. £2 a sheep for a haircut. How much does the farmer get out of all this 12 months of growing best wool it's ever had? Anybody? How much? Who wants to have a go? 50p, 50p. Are you guys from Scotland? 10p. All farmers. Hey, what do you think, sweetie? Up £3 going £3, give me £5 going £5, I'll go £5 down here, 15 going against you, got £5 down, we got 15 against you, we got 5, we'll throw the sheep in as well, we got 15 here, 15, 20, 25, 15, got it over here, we go against you, so 15, 20, we're going to sell it £15. So well done, young man, that was a live auction. Where's your mum and dad? You tell them, well done. Okay, now I'm just joking. Amazingly, folks, I'm sorry, you're right though, you've had your day with wool, it's over. Again, I can't stop going on about it, I think it's an incredible history you've got with it. This here made you one of the most powerful nations in the world. Isn't that amazing? They still sit on it, and your MPs today, and your chairman still sits on an old sack of wool in Parliament today. Remind them where your wealth came from. But you are right. It's if you average your breeds out, some are worth a lot more. But if you average them out, you'd be £1 a kg, maybe £1.20 for that bit of wool there. £1.20 to the farmer. Hang on, they cost him £2 for the haircut. He loses money. I'm afraid he has that for quite a while now. I'm afraid, like I said, you haven't got a choice. You have to get it off. It's for the health of the animal now. All right, that siren says is up for the dance of the sheep show. All right, so this is where you guys get involved. They're looking a bit tired. We're on a 3-week cruise at the moment around the country, so they need some of your energy. The louder you are, the harder they dance. Here we go. I know the blokes sit here like this most of the time, like, oh, yeah, I'll just let the kids do it. Guys, it's good for the body. Give a good yell. Here we go. Deep breath. Do you want to see the sheep dance? Yeah! Nailed it! Look how excited they are now. Well, look at that. She's already warming up. All right, we're going to start with the Frenchman. We're going to do it one at a time. We're going to finish with Terry the Texel. I've just retired my old Texel. If you remember him from previous years, it was amazing. He'd swung around and wiggle his tail at you. But this one's only brand new, so he'll do absolutely nothing. Martha is new as well, but she's starting to get the hang of it. She's starting to bop. She's a bopper. She bops her head back and forwards. Belinda's old school, so she kind of saves it on this side. She's a ballerina. Leg, thrust, twist. Thrust, twist. Susie, brand new with Terry, started at the same time. Does absolutely nothing. Don't panic, it gets so much better on this side. He's the best I've ever had. You might not think so, but his footwork, I've never had a sheep this good, in my opinion. I'll see if I can do it justice. 1, 2, toe. Moon walks back. Leg, crossovers, backslide, tail shimmy, and repeats it again. He's the full Monty. Sam's the Michael Jackson of the family. He does the Michael Jackson wiggle. Knee down, knee up, knee down, knee up. Just like Michael, apart from his colour. Dougal! I know, I lived up in Scotland. I used to party at Fort William when I was a shepherd up there. And I love dancing. It's good for the soul, I think. So I had a couple pints and I was the one boogieing in the corner. This is what happened to me in Scotland every time I did that. He does exactly the same dance routine. The hippie does a hippie shake, flicks a dreadlock side to side, and the Frenchman, he'll probably be on strike. No, he can dance. He does the famous box step. Jane Fonda did it in the 80s, made millions from it. That little workout aerobics in the 80s, that's all she did to make millions. 1, 2, 1, 2. Quite amazing. Anyway, he does that. He's a big fan of her. If you give it, if they start dancing, give them a cheer. They dance harder. Here we go. 1, 2. Speed it up a bit. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Very good. You broke it. You broke it. You broke it. All right, we're going to move on to the hippie shake. It's coming up now. Okay, I'll give you the beat. Don't knock the life of the hippie. Not too many brain cells left, but he's still got it. Yeah, baby. I used to be a hippie in the old days. Couldn't keep it up for too long. All right, me and Dougal are going to do a duet. Wait for me, I'm leaving. I can see what he's thinking. Come a little bit closer, Kiwi. I'll give you something to start with. He's the only sheep still alive what's knocked me out once on stage. Yeah, I know what you like to do, mate. Don't look him in the eyes. Alright, Sammy's up next. Now, Nobby, you started too early. Stop it, Nobby. Stop it. Story of my life. Sammy, you better hurry up. He's halfway through the routine. Now, Sammy's only started last year. He's a brand new. The knee down, knee up, knee down, knee up. Michael Jackson, Tony Madness. How can you know time's up? Look at Nobby go. Moonwalk, backside, two-step shimmy. Here's the crossover, little two-step again. You see this? Unbelievable! Look at that little shimmy back! I can't even keep up! Moonwalk, crossover, two-step again! Oh, I love you, Nobby! Susie, absolutely nothing! Perfect! Belinda, leg thrust twist! Leg thrust twist! Lovely ballerina! Martha, she's going to start the bop! Okay, well, she's only just started doing this! She's a little bopper, a bit like Stevie. Stevie Wonder, that was. We'll take it, we'll take it! She's only started at the same time as me. She's already doing it. Well done, honey. Kerry, get out of there. It's a family show. I tell you, folks, my mum and dad are so proud. Son, what do you do in the UK? Oh, I'm a doctor, Mum. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm a dog trainer by trade. Wrote a book about it to help people understand our canines better so we don't have so many rescue animals. And also my wife wrote a book about our lives traveling around and put the way we floor. Anyway, I'm supporting the charity, the fund, adding in fun for help struggling families and their families. You've been a wonderful audience. Come and check me out at 12:30, Dog and Duck Show. Straight down there, it'll be me in the arena at 12:30. I'd love to have you. Have a great day, take care, bye-bye!